Welcome to this week's Fireside Chat with Jesse. I am joined today by Harmony Oswald, Fintech founder and finance attorney. Great having you on the program, Harmony.
Thank you so much, Jesse. It's really a pleasure being here.
No, it's great to see your face again. And, I think we probably met a few years ago for the first time. And I apologize it's taken us so long to get you on one of these. So appreciate your time and looking forward to hearing more about your story.
Absolutely. I've been waiting, Jesse. I was super excited when you reached out. It's about time.
Yeah. It wasn't you, it was me. I mean, yeah,
Fair
I,
enough.
I don't I don't say that very often, so I got to get in there while I can. For those people who haven't had a chance to meet you, Harmony, or hear about you, do you mind just kind of introducing yourself? I know you have a vast career and some organizations that you've started, so I just feel free to just tell your entire story if you don't mind.
Whoa, the
Hey,
entire
we got time.
story, Jesse.
We got time. We got time. Yeah.
Okay, so where to begin? Okay, so I am a U.S. Army veteran. I served overseas in the 1st Infantry Division. And as I believe you mentioned, I am a California finance litigator. I do commercial work across the state of California. And I am also the founder and CEO at Lucy Technologies. And my companies are both based in Silicon Valley. So we're out of San Jose, California. And it is a sunny day here in San Jose. So that's super good news, Jesse. Yeah, so that's kind of about my work. I am the kind of person that really appreciates and values education. So I do a lot of mentor work. In the past, I've worked with the Silicon Valley Founder Institute, also Santa Clara Law at their Entrepreneurs Law Clinic as a mentor, also San Jose State University. They have an ideas lab for accelerators there. So I do a lot of mentorship work, and I'm really a person that enjoys art. I like traveling and spending time with my family. So my husband and I do a lot of traveling. We've been married for 20 years this past year. So I'm really
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I'm super blessed to be married to an awesome guy, my best friend. And so we have 2 kids, one son who is in law school. He goes to UC Law SF, that's in San Francisco. And then our daughter is in veterinary medicine school at UC Davis. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. If you want any more, I can fill it in, but
No, not at all, not at all. So, thank you for that introduction. So, let's talk about. We'll get into the equipment finance stuff here in a little bit, but let's talk about Lucy Technologies, if you don't mind. Mind just kind of giving us a little overview of that company?
Absolutely. So I like to tell people, how it was kind of born. And what happened was I was actually a startup lawyer in Silicon Valley, partnering with the Silicon Valley Founder Institute. And we were putting on these startup pitch competitions to help close gender gaps in funding for women-led companies. Women-led companies still, as of October 2023, still only get right around 2% of venture capital funding. So that partnership with the Silicon Valley Founder Institute was really awesome. And we were really having an impact. And because of that, and because I'm a veteran, I was offered by VetTech a paid fellowship to go through the Silicon Valley Founder Institute to build a tech company. And so that really is how it all came about. We went through that program to do research, testing, and learn what product people would really love and they would want to pay for, and that we should, put a strong team together and build. So since then, that's what we've been doing, and that's how it all got started.
Why the name Lucy Technologies, if you don't mind me asking? I wasn't sure, maybe that your daughter's name or some relevance to it or not.
No, it actually, if you look it up, the word Lucy has a lot of really good meaning, positivity, which is something that's really important to me, light and all of that kind of thing. But I don't have anyone in my family named that. It was a
Okay.
result. It was a result, which most of it is with Lucy Technologies. It's all about the research, all about the testing. we actually went out and tested it out, and our minimal viable product, Legal Lucy, it kind of just flows off the tongue. It's a lot of fun, which goes with our branding really well, and people really like it. So, and it's also kind of a shout out the name Lucy. Of course, it's a female name traditionally. And so, being that my background before becoming the founder at Lucy Technologies was doing that kind of social justice work to help close gender gaps in VC funding and that kind of thing for women led companies. It's kind of a way to shout out to women in business, but the product is for everyone, right? It's a product that really helps to empower small business owners. We can talk more about that, the problem that we're solving, and the
Yeah,
solution.
sure. Yeah,
Um,
let's go into that if you don't mind. I didn't know. I mean, I don't think anyone would think that only 2% of VC funding goes to female-owned businesses. I guess there's just not enough female-owned businesses applying, or what exactly is
that's
the
funny.
cause of that? I don't
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm just I'm a white male,
that's
so I can't
that's really funny.
I'm just asking a question.
No, that's a great question. And so, that actually relates to, okay, so we'll go back and I'll answer your questions about the problem we're solving and the solution. But right now,
Okay, okay.
you're asking a different question, which,
Yeah, I'm sorry.
no, this is great. So, I think I mentioned to you, off the show that we were recently selected for the NASDAQ cohort, which is really exciting. And one of the things that Lucy Technologies has been wanting to have answered, it's like this burning question that we have, and we would love to know. And this question is, so out of this 2% of venture capital that statistically women-led companies earn and get and secure, like, let's break that down further. So what does that really mean? So is that um pre-revenue companies, like pre-seed companies? Or is it a fact that all women-led companies have to get, basically by bootstrapping, working at a second job, do they have to get to 1 million in revenue plus in order to secure any venture capital funding at all? Right? So are
Mhm.
any pre-revenue women-led companies actually getting funded? And this question was never answered. So far, we have never met anybody that can answer this question for us. If anyone's listening and knows the answer to this, by all means, please reach out. We asked NASDAQ about this. They couldn't answer the question, and they actually just were like, this is the way that it is. So we need to set your milestone in such a way that it's within your control, that kind of thing. And so, and the reason it's such a burning question, Jesse, is because it's really important that women-led companies know the answer to this, because otherwise they shouldn't be wasting their time starting highly scalable tech company where they can't get any funding to do that until they're at 1 million plus revenue, right?
Now,
Um,
and real quick question here. The other 98%, is that going to men-owned companies, and do they have to be at $1 million as well, or are they held to a lower standard?
that's a great question. So for example, this is a really good example that
I,
people
I'm
can.
not trying to get this off the rails or anything. I was just more
Oh
of
no,
a,
this
I'm
is
just
such an
really
important topic.
inquisitive.
I love that we're delving into this right away. So if you think about, for example, Facebook or any other like big successful tech company, Mark Zuckerberg, he right off the bat got $500,000 in funding in order to, in his words, it was something like, and I'm paraphrasing here, but to build something fun or to try to see if it works, right? To do the testing and really to get there.
Sure, sure.
So the answer is that male-led companies traditionally have been able to secure what's called pre-seed. I mean, that's what pre-seed funding is, right? Or even sometimes there's some, depending on the trends that year, but sometimes it's seed funding. It's called seed funding. It fluctuates a little bit, but
Sure,
the
sure.
point is these big tech companies, I mean, it takes funding to get to a point where you're at a point of revenue. However, what we have seen, and this is largely through testing, like I mentioned to you, that oftentimes it's about being at that point of 1 million in revenue. And so and it's just a fair question because, like I was saying, we want um, women-led companies to actually know the answer, because if it's kind of a myth
Sure.
that you can actually get funding, like if you can't get VC funding, why would you be wasting your time in trying to build a tech company, right? So, and that goes along, that leads me into, if you want to know, I'll tell you, because we actually developed this at NASDAQ, and it's our vision. It's my personal vision. I hadn't laid it out previously, but we are currently going through the NASDAQ cohort. So if you want to know it, I will
Yeah,
share it.
yeah, sure. I was just asking. I mean, because like anything else, until you understand the meaning behind the statistics, like I just ask the questions, right? Because
Yeah,
once you finally realize that, then it's like, okay, well, that's obviously a huge discrepancy and needs to needs to be fixed. So
yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. And what we've done is we gathered investor feedback. We hit our milestones based on investor feedback. We gained traction. I mean, we gained over 3,800 users organically. This is just bootstrapping, all of these things. We really got all of our ducks in a row. We did. I'm the kind of person, you tell me what to do, I will go and do that, right? And so we did all of that. But anyway, it's all a testing environment. So it's really good. And we have this amazing NASDAQ cohort opportunity. And if you'd like, I'll share with you our vision.
sure,
That
sure,
was one of the first things that they had us do. So my vision as a founder is to be a competent, independent tech leader, successful tech leader, gain that VC funding, and then share this information with other women-led founders about how to get it done. Because I believe that competent women-led founders should have equal access to VC funding.
okay, absolutely. I mean, why not?
Exactly. So there you have it. But I didn't tell you about the problem we're solving, but so if you're interested, I can share that information.
Yeah, yeah. Let's go into those if you don't mind.
Sure. So the problem that we're solving with Lucy is basically, and we heard this in feedback from a business owner who said, in business, you just don't know what you don't know, right? And it's so true. And so what happens is these small business owners, they're not clear about whether or not they even have an issue. So this could be like a legal issue. They don't know if they are not fundable, for example. A legal issue could end up in litigation, end up shutting down their company. And that kind of thing ends up, with companies defaulting, by the way, on equipment finance agreements, right? Because here
Sure.
you have these business owners that don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they don't know. And by the way, one of the main statistics that we looked at when we were looking to solve this problem was that, according to the U.S. Chamber Institute for Legal Reform, small businesses pay approximately like over 160 billion a year on litigation, making mistakes. So this is really related. This will shut down your company. You will go into default on your EFA, on your equipment finance agreement, right? So it's very related.
Sure.
These owners really need to learn what they're doing. So our solution is that we create smart buyers in complex industries, right? It's fintech. It's also ed tech. We're very focused on that education aspect, legal tech. So it's kind of right in the middle there. So we help. So from a financier perspective, your audience would want to know about that. So what we're doing here is eliminating inefficient consultation. So you have these business owners, they don't know what they're doing. They walk through the door. What we do, they can use our products, and then we send over high quality vetted leads. It supplements lender due diligence. And we ensure smart deal making by providing these on-demand de-risking tools, right, for the business
Mhm.
owner. And they can establish strong companies, pre-qualified companies that are ready to fund, and they're less likely to default. So from a lender perspective, that's it in a nutshell.
Perfect. And how are the results of this going thus far?
Yeah, I mean, so we did a friends and family round. We have an investor named Wendy Ryan she's been in the news. I mean, she's been doing a lot of advocacy work on this issue that I was mentioning to you,
Sure.
with the funding. But anyway, she was one of our initial investors on a friends and family round. And since then, we have been, learning milestones that we need to meet and hitting those milestones by bootstrapping. So what that means is that Harmony Oswald is the sole investor,
Sure.
and she is running company number two and also running the tech company. So unlike Zuck in his hoodies, like figuring it all out, um, I'm over here at bootstrapping, but it's
so,
going
so
amazing.
you're like, well, who's gonna do that? And you're just like, me, me.
So anyway, that's the journey. It's really I'm really blessed. I love, my husband and I have lived in California for 10 years. We're right in the heart of Silicon Valley. When I went through law school, I got a certificate, high tech law. I've always been really like committed to that area of the law, high tech. And so I'm really blessed with the opportunity. I really enjoy I'm so grateful for my life, and I'm really dedicated to what I'm doing. I really care a lot about the why, which is what I told you about earlier. So,
Sure, sure. And where were you before California?
well, so I was in the army and I lived in Germany for a while. My son was actually born over there. My husband was in golf course management for a good time of our marriage. So we lived at places which were resorts, right, where there's golf courses. So we lived in, for
Good,
example,
good, good and bad, right?
yeah, yeah, no, but it was great. It was super cool. Like we lived in the Poconos in Pennsylvania. We lived in Marco Island. So he had worked at the Marco Island Marriott at the golf course there. So we lived in Florida, Pennsylvania, and then California. But when we came to California, we wanted to pick somewhere that we could stay. Um, California has like the fifth largest economy in the world on its own. So it's a good place to be for business. And we wanted to bring our kids somewhere that we could stay and we didn't have to move again. So, and
Sorry,
we
had
went.
to ask the question. And then, I guess on the army perspective, where'd you do your basic at?
Yeah, so I was at Fort Jackson. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
And then I went to Fort Meade, which is where they do all the training for, I was a broadcast journalist, 46R. So yeah, I went through Fort Meade.
Both my brothers were in the army, so
Go
that's why I was
Army,
just
huh?
wondering that. Yeah,
That's
but
cool.
so we're going to shift gears a little bit and talk about the Oswald law firm, which is how you and I have met. As you mentioned, you do litigation in the equipment finance industry. So, do you mind just kind of, when did you start the law firm, and just talk about the practice, Harmony, if you don't mind?
Absolutely. So, again, very grateful for the journey. Was led into litigation due to the need to be, as a women-led founder, kind of doing that bootstrapping, becoming an investor myself. And so I first worked in consumer litigation for banks. So I worked for banks like Chase, Citibank, Bank of America. That was amazing learning experience. I learned that I really enjoy litigation. I think that it goes really well with my skill sets, communication, effective, um, just effectively communicating with judges and opposing counsel and defendants and so forth to get matters resolved outside of court. I think that's one of my chief assets, really. But anyway, so started out in consumer litigation, moved over into commercial. I learned that I really enjoy doing commercial work. Um, and I was actually the sole California litigator at a law firm before realizing that, you know what, I should make a go of this on my own. I mean, why not, right? I'm the only California lawyer there. So I'm basically doing all that on my own anyway. So that's when Oswald Law Firm was born. This was in January of 2022. It's
Oh,
been an amazing experience.
okay.
Yeah, so it's been really cool getting to know people through the trade organizations and shout out to, I don't know if you know Rick Wilbur, but he's the
Name
one,
sounds familiar, but I
he's
recognize the face.
who really helped me. So he voluntarily said, "Hey, we should have a Zoom call." Because we had just serendipitously met on LinkedIn, and then he said, "Let's have a Zoom call." And then he said, "You really should get involved in these trade organizations. I've been involved with them for a long time." So it was strictly because of him. I'm super grateful for him. I sent him a present for doing it. Like, so he really helped me, and I'm so thankful for that. And so, and he was exactly right. Brilliant. He knew exactly what we should be doing in Oswald Law Firm. So since then we joined, we're a member of NEFA. We have, and yeah. So, and I'm also a member of ELFA, but that's through Lucy Technologies.
And I guess, do you remember your first conference that you went to for NIFA? And then we'll talk about
Absolutely.
ELFA. Which one was it?
So it was the one where we went out on the yacht. It was so
Okay.
much fun. I can't even
So,
tell you. I'm not even kidding. I have had so much fun at these conferences, and anyone that's listening, like, I don't want to say it. It's not like like completely clean, right? Okay. So, but I'm just saying, like, super fun moments at these conferences, like, uh, and anybody that's listening would know if they were part of that experience. Like, there was like a time on the rooftop where we were by a fire and we were just sharing different stories that I could tell you them, but I won't. But it's so much fun. And then also there was a car ride and an Uber. It was like a party in the car over to the yacht because we had missed the bus. I mean,
was that was that the one in Saint? Was that in Huntington Beach?
it was,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
So I love that experience. I have been, again, very blessed and grateful to quickly become a part. And I just have been so welcomed into the trade organization. So I did do AACFB at first, and I was a speaker on a fraud roundtable in Charlotte. And then at NEFA, I was a speaker on AI and fraud. I do a lot of work in the fraud arena to try to, so, my, what I really try to do, Jesse, is try to help, again, educate these banks and lenders and lessors to try to reduce the need to come over and litigate their defaults, right? So it's like, so fraud is one of those things. I was on the fraud steering committee for ELFA, for example, but so I've been a speaker on those issues, and then also AI, with my background in technology and all of that. So I often get called up to be a speaker on those. So on the Innovation Council Roundtable last year, several panels, and then upcoming, Jesse, if you want to, well, I get this would only be for lawyers that happen to be listening, but I was invited to,
Whatever.
yeah, you can't come, Jesse. No. But I was recently invited to become the liaison between ELFA's Innovation Council and the legal committee. So to do reporting back and forth, it's really important. And so, so I will also be speaking on their AI panel upcoming in May. So looking forward to it.
Perfect. I think that's in my backyard, if memory serves me correctly.
I think so. Yes. Are you in
Might just
Arizona?
have to. I might just have to crash it and just put an LLP after my name or Esquire and just sure, let's go.
I would definitely recommend it. So
They'll kick me out. Too many people know who I am.
you will fit right in.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Oh,
anyway, I don't think I mentioned really much about the practice areas. So just really quick for Oswald Law Firm, what we do is strictly litigation, strictly in California, across the state, make appearances in superior court. So try to get matters resolved outside of court, which, as I mentioned, is one of my chief skills. And I'm really, committed to getting that done for my clients. We can also do pre and post judgment collection of collateral, litigation, and enforcing judgments. So that means that's judgments not only in California, but if you have a judgment, for example, in Minnesota or Texas, you can send it our way if the assets are in California. and we can help you collect on that.
Perfect. Well, thank you for that. And
Absolutely.
that's fantastic. And I guess, what are your general thoughts besides, sending Rick a gift once you realized how amazing the equipment finance industry is? Like, I mean, you're a little over 2 years in, is officially kicking this off in this industry. What are your just general thoughts on, the equipment finance industry, Harmony?
Mhm. Sure. So I do want to say that I have been a lawyer since 2016, and I have been working for banks, doing litigation work for quite some time. But it was Rick Wilbur who introduced me to the trade organization events, which, as I mentioned, are super fun. I love meeting people at those, and it's been amazing. So you're absolutely right. And I did send him a present for that. But anyway, so what do I think of the industry? I think it's amazing. What I noticed at first was that it is a close-knit community of friends, basically. Pardon me, I'm gonna.
Hey, it's okay. I get some Joe in me too. It's fun.
Yeah, not like that. Look at that thing.
Oh,
That's right. Did you
there
see
you
it?
go. Yeah, you stepped it up.
Yeah. So anyway, Jesse, so what do I think? I think it's awesome how it's a close-knit community of friends helping each other succeed, win-win. That's the kind of environment. Very welcoming. I've really appreciated the opportunity to add value, and bring my skills to the table and just offer what I can to help. So whether that be with the work in, like, to try to eliminate fraud in certain ways. Like my firm, we have a blog at oswaldfirm.com/blog where we do writings on trending issues, and whether it's litigation, AI, fraud, that kind of thing. So we recently had published one about, for example, the importance of collaborating to eliminate fraud. And then we did notice that the American Bankers Association is implementing something like that, a
Oh,
collaborative kind of network recently. So we were super excited to learn about that, because it will help for sure, and it's something that's really important. So, but anyway, I've been really grateful about the amazing opportunities to contribute. There are so many just seasoned veterans in the industry, and being able to connect with those and see what's happening now, it's really cool. So, and I've loved my time at Innovation Council, like Deb Rubin. I love working with her. Yeah.
no, Deb's fantastic. And from an attorney perspective, with your fintech, just, I guess your just general background, that
Mhm.
definitely brings a unique. I don't know if there's anyone that I can think of in the industry that kind of has that similar background. So
Mhm,
that's
and
fantastic.
it's very important right now because of the growth of AI is just booming, and then not
Sure,
only is that happening, but in collaboration, what you have is the increased fraud. So I think it's like the numbers are something like by 2027, there's supposed to be over 300 billion in global fraud that's occurring. So it's really important that that's addressed. So it's just
sure.
kind of like you're excited about AI, but you need to be, noticing the effects and constantly educating yourself, really. So you need to go to those Innovation Council roundtables. They're
Plug
coming
plug
up.
for Deb. Plug for Deb. Let's get it.
Absolutely. You got to go. You don't want to miss out.
If you're
Very
not in the
fun.
know,
You
it's your
got to
own
be
fault.
there.
And just so we're clear here, it's not Guinness, but
Cheers.
it's a but it's a fun glass from Dublin. So gotta have it. So I want to go into one other thing. Oh, so from a settling outside of court, on the off chance that it doesn't happen after you sit through traffic to get to court and park and all that stuff, it makes you even want to make sure that you focus on settling outside of court the next time.
Settling outside of court is really important. And you know what?
Sure.
You know what, Jesse? This has to do with the importance of Lucy Technologies, actually, because it's like, look, and there's opportunities there for banks, lenders, lessors to strategically align with Lucy, because we're creating strong deals. Basically, we're helping with the due diligence process, and eliminating those defaulted deals, right? So it's like you can either do that kind of preventative care from the outset, or you can come see me at Oswald Law Firm and we'll help you litigate. I mean, it just depends what.
It's the best infomercial ever. Just tee it right up and there it goes.
I mean,
No,
win-win.
it's fantastic. So, Harmony, I ask everyone who comes on here to give me a little fun fact about themselves. So, are you have a very eclectic background? So, what makes you tick outside of everything that we've discussed on this show today?
Amazing. Fun fact. Well, so there are different ones that I could share, but I will just say that
Now this is recorded and it does go online. So
love that. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, then I'll change what I was about to say.
oh no, that's what I get. I shouldn't have said it.
I'm just kidding. So I will just say that I was a contestant on NBC's Fear Factor with Joe Rogan.
Oh. Well, I'm gonna have to type that up and go find that episode, I suppose. What?
A lot of fun.
Do you remember how far did you get?
That's a great question. People used to say to me, how could you do that? How could you go on a show where you have to eat bugs, right? And I would always say, well, I really like eating. But I was just saying, no, but I don't know. It was directly in alignment with, I don't know, I was in the Army, all of these things. And then I was selected for Fear Factor. And I actually, whenever they actually picked right out of a hat who had to go first, and they picked me. And they
God.
decide, and
God.
they said, we want to warn you that statistically, people that go first usually end up getting kicked off the show. And I was like, in my mind, I thought like, whatever, that's not happening to me, right? So anyway, the stunt that I had to do was that I had to be locked down to a platform that was dangling from a helicopter. And the helicopter was kind of zooming out over a lake. And they actually, when they took us to do the stunt, they blindfolded us and put us in a van and drove us out into like the Hollywood area, but out into the hills somewhere. I guess they did not want you to know the location. And then they unblindfolded you, and then they started the show. So we no idea where the show took place, Jesse, but somewhere like around like in the Western states, I guess. But anyway, so I was dangling from a helicopter, had to jump off the platform. All of it was timed. And after it happened, I thought that it was a pretty good result, but people got better times than me afterwards. So then I did not have to eat roadkill because of that. So it was, even though I
was that one of the next things in line? Roadkill?
Yeah, it was the next stunt. So I missed out on the roadkill. And even though I do like eating, I wasn't sad about that. So.
All right. Well, that's definitely one of the more unique fun facts I've heard in the last 2.5 years.
It was a lot of fun. It was.
Yeah. I'm still gonna have to go look it up though, if you don't mind.
I don't mind.
Maybe I'll see if I can even overlay a
find
piece of that in here. So I'll find it. I'll find it. So my final question I have for you, Harmony, is why should an equipment finance organization or even a service provider, because I think you probably can provide value to both sides of the industry here, want to do business with Harmony Oswald?
That is a great question. And the answer is that I am dedicated to helping you win. So basically, that could be in two ways, like I mentioned before. If you're the kind of person that thinks the strategic alliance would work well, you like to be more efficient, be an innovator in the space, I can help you become a leader there. I'm a member of Innovation Council at ELFA and so forth. So we can help you to implement the tech team, the scalable technology, to really win as a leader in innovation and technology, and to create those strong, really fundable deals and prevent those defaults. Alternatively, you can come see me at Oswald Law Firm, and you can check out some references and testimonials at oswaldfirm.com. And you can see that we will do an amazing job to help you win. And so either way, they should come see me. But by the way, Jesse, one more thing I wanted to say is anybody that would be interested in a strategic alliance could hit me up at harmony@discoverlucy.com. And if you know Mike Varney from MAI Technologies, he also will be willing to give a reference or jump on a call with us as well. So anyway, little
Okay, awesome. Well, Harmony, I really appreciate your time. I'm guessing our paths will cross in late March at NIFA.
Well, you're coming in disguise as a lawyer too, right? To the legal.
Yeah, but that's in May. Maybe I'll see if I can catch some of that.
I'll
Maybe.
see you there. I won't tell. I won't tell a soul. You'll fit right in.
I'm sure I'd fit in. I don't know if they'd want me though, but it's fine.
It was so nice seeing you. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
No, it's great having you on here, and good luck. It's only 2 years in, all you've been able to achieve, and your volunteerism is admirable. So good job, keep it up, and look forward to continuing to watch you flourish in the equipment finance industry, Harmony.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.